We are on the way back from a road trip to Boerne, Texas, which I am going to mispronounce for the first 270 miles of this trip, but I will get it right eventually. It is called Boerne. To help our son pick up a car. He's been searching for a car like this for 4 months. We're on our way back, and we're going to share the trip with you.
Stay tuned to see what it looks like.
Hi, we are on the road to Boerne, Texas, which is just outside of San Antonio. It's either 260 or 280 miles. I don't remember. I'll know when I get there and I'll update. We are on this trip because why?
We are buying a car, and we made a similar trip for me. Not for them, unfortunately. It's not an EV, but it will still be somewhat interesting, I hope. We actually made basically the same trip, the same time last year, down to San Antonio to buy a much more interesting car, and it didn't occur to us to make a video until we were already well along the way, so.
And while that car was interesting, it was a Honda Del Sol SI.
That's right.
It turned into a money pit.
Oh yeah, that car was a serious lemon.
So that car has been sold, and now we're trying this again on a different vehicle, and hopefully everything will work out, and we'll be coming back in a 2-car caravan on the way back. But yeah, we missed out on an opportunity for some content on that trip last year, and we're going to make that same mistake. So that is why we're getting this video. Plus, it's an EV road trip video, and going to a different location here in Texas. So many long EV road trips can be done without leaving the state of Texas. So our first, we left home with a 97% state of charge. I've got the route planned out in using PlugShare only, and because I didn't like the charging stops that a better route planner was giving me, so I just made my own in PlugShare. And I have a stop planned for us at a Walmart Electrify America in Waco, but I set my charge limit to 100% last night. Got home late, didn't get to charge as long as I wanted to, and we got to 97%. So that's our departure state of charge, was 97%. But it should still be enough for us to skip the charging stop in Waco and get all the way down to Round Rock on the north side of Austin before our first charge. So we'll see you there. We don't need to stop to charge. I'm got 171 miles of range, but we need a potty break and might as well get a little bit of power while we're doing it. So we're only going to be here for a couple of minutes at this FreeWire through EV Connect at this Road Ranger truck stop. So plug in and see what's going on. It started charging for me. So I just plugged in and it started charging. So, hey, that'll be that. It's going to ask me to run the credit card because I didn't get logged in the app. Oh well. No. But that's one of the neat things that it does. So we're at 66% right now, which means we're not going to get peak charge. Usually when we're at this high of a level of state of charge, we won't plug in. But we've been on the road for about 90 miles. And so, well, no, about 70 miles. Just taking a quick potty break and getting some power while we're doing it. So might take some of the time off of our real charging stop in Round Rock. So they're back from the potty break, and we're going to go ahead and unplug. Yeah, so stop charging, finishing charging sequence. It's gonna be like $4 or something. Okay, return plug to charger. Come on. Ugh. There we go. And it's in. Plug return to charger. 5.9 kilowatt hours, $4.07. We're now at 75%. We were here for 12 minutes and 44 seconds. Round Rock Premium Outlets. I am on, I'm going to assume this is Charger 5. This is, yeah, Charger 5. Boom. Let me get the cable. Shite. Okay, under and over. And here we go. Plug in. Swipe to start charge. Should be initiating. This is what I'm getting on my phone. This is what I'm getting here. Oh my gosh. Look how crowded this is. We got a Maciej, like 4 ID4s, BMW, Ioniq 5, Rivian, Pecan. This is not doing. Let me try this again. Let me do this differently. Hang that back up. Close my app out. Round Rock, Premium Outlets, Charger 5, swipe to start. And just saying, please plug in. Oh, I've got a status bar now.
That looks like the time.
Try again. Close the app. Okay, I am plugged in. Okay, swipe to start charge. Come on now.
You want to try unplugging it and plugging it back in?
I've done that. I'm on the third try of that.
You just did that?
Yeah. All right. You know what I'm going to do? It's timed out again. So I'm just going to plug in and then run my card. All right. Did it? Now it's not even registering that it's plugged in. Just do it with the card. Try another card. What the hell? What's wrong with this card? Come on.
Give it a good blow, get all the dust out of there?
Maybe. Nope. This is just not working. All right. Definition of insanity is trying the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result.
That's a falsely attributed quote.
I know. Okay, so here we go again. One more time. Got the plug. Let's do this. The car's not on, right? Yeah.
Do you think we could get to that other charger from here?
I don't know. I'm looking. All right. Well, yeah. On the back side of this, there's an EVgo station that has available chargers. But there's 1770. No, there is one CCS. There's one CCS and it's available. Because this just isn't going. This just isn't going. Oh no, that white ID4's in front of us. Oh no, he's going to plug into a J1772. He's not. He's leaving us the CCS. Are you sure that's the one that you want? I mean, you were ahead of me.
No, it's fine. I don't think this one's it either. Go back over to the busy one.
That was the most crowded EA I have ever seen.
I know.
And they kept coming.
Communication error detected. Please unplug and wait 10 seconds.
Wait. Payment has been authorized?
Payment has been authorized. We're charging. Okay. So, the Electrify America had 9 stalls. 2 were unavailable entirely, and the one stall that we were able to get into, we could not get the charge to initiate. I tried like 3 or 4 times. Luckily, we were able to come over here to this EVgo. This is Ingrid, and we are at 35% state of charge. We need to get to 80% or more. We've got 83 miles of range, and we want to get out of here with like 205. So we've got 50 minutes. So what we're going to do is we are going to try to find a place to eat and go have lunch. EVgo app says we're at 83%. We've been here for 49 minutes, which was enough time for us to plug in, walk to an In-N-Out burger over there, have lunch, and come back. And then we just got back and we are ready to go. So, there we go. I'm gonna hit stop session on the screen. We're now at an 84% state of charge. We've been going for 49 minutes and 54 seconds. This is gonna use $17.67 of my EVgo credits, 31.451 kilowatt hours, and we're leaving at an 83% state of charge. So I can unplug. And we are making a change to our route plan. We're going to take some different roads instead of Interstate 35 to Interstate 10. So we're going to kind of bypass San Antonio to get to Boerne on the way there, and we'll be going through San Antonio on the way back. So if I'm reading it right, we've got about 107 miles to go until we're at the place where the car is. Back on the road. We are currently 8 miles from our destination in Boerne, where we're going to check out this car. And we might show you some pictures of the car if it ends up just being a wild goose chase, but our hopes is it won't be. And then we'll be able to show you some pictures of this car and some video of the car once we have it. But to respect the current owner and the seller's privacy, I'm not going to run the camera up on their house. So that'll be that. The next time you'll hear from us, we will either be in a 2-car caravan or very dejected, having driven all this way for no reason. And if you look out the windshield, there's thunderstorm up there, and it's rolling into Boerne. It should arrive about the same time that we do. So we're going to get to see how this car drives in the rain and all of that fun stuff. So we got here, test drove the car, everything's fine. Our son John bought it. We had to wait a little bit for the owner to find the title, but we got that handled. And we're now on the way to an AutoZone to get a mirror, those little blind spot mirrors, because the driver's side power mirror doesn't quite work right. And we'll catch up to you at that AutoZone. I've been saying the name of this town wrong this whole time. Found out by talking with the parts manager at AutoZone that this town is pronounced Boerne. So I will fix that now. This is Boerne, Texas, where we picked up this car. It is a red Honda Civic EX.
John did a little cool guy wave. There he goes.
And I was going to get some video of John putting the blind spot mirrors on, but it's raining and we're not going to get any adhesive to stick while it's raining. So we're heading home, and we'll introduce you to John's new to him car at our first charging stop, which is right now the plan is an EV Go at a shopping mall in Old West Austin, in Austin, Texas, kind of near downtown. It's an EV Go with 1 stall, and if that is taken, there's a charge point with 4 units at Austin High School, just a few more miles up the road. So we've got a fallback. But I've got 92 miles of range. It was 267 miles to get here, and we've got enough juice to go from Boerne back to Austin. I don't think we have enough juice to go from Boerne back to, we definitely don't have enough juice to go from Boerne back to Round Rock, where we charged on the way down. So what was your opinion of the process, Rachel?
It was nice. I mean, I was reassured by the fact that the people had a well-kept house, and the car looked clean when we pulled up. And then when the guy opened his garage, he had it very tidy inside, and he actually had a full-size car in a 1-car garage, which is actually, most people can't do that. So
he also had a motorcycle in there.
And yeah, there was a motorcycle in there too.
He told me that he had been the parts and service manager for a big Dodge dealership around here for 40 years.
Ah, well, he told me that when he got the car, the transmission was grinding a little bit, so he just replaced it. You know, no big deal. So yeah, and the car was real clean on the inside, and it seems to run pretty well. It's a little loud, but I mean, for the price John paid, really, this is a great deal.
Yeah, and just to be clear, just in case anybody's wondering, we did not buy him this car. He bought this with his own money.
Right.
He did this last year as well, bought that Del Sol with his own money and put a lot of his own money into it to fix it up. Sold that Del Sol, and he's using that money, used that money to pick up this Civic. So at the charge stop, it hopefully won't be raining, and we'll be able for him to put his blind spot mirrors on, because there's 2 issues. The rear spoiler got knocked off in a car wash. We have the rear spoiler in the trunk of that car, and the driver's side power mirror doesn't power. So he can't get it quite in the position that he would want it to be in. So he, rather than just mess with it just for safety's sake, driving what for us is going to be another 267 miles back to our place, and it's like another 30 for him. It's almost 300 miles for him. He's just picked up some blind spot mirrors at AutoZone and is going to stick those on, and he'll be good to go. So we've been very fortunate on this trip. We didn't have an issue when we stopped in Lakeview at that FreeWire station, just because we needed a potty break, plugged in while we were there, got us a little bit of juice. Our planned stop was at an Electrify America in Round Rock, and it was packed. I've never seen an EA with that many cars at it, and 2 of the 9 stations were out of order, And the one that we were able to pull up to would not initiate charging, and there was a Rivian there that was having a similar problem, right?
Yeah.
And so we pulled out, and because there was an EVgo in the same parking lot, we followed an ID4 to it, and she pulled up to a J1772. She was in front of me. I asked her if she meant to go to that one, and she was like, yeah, that's fine, you go ahead. And I was like, okay, so I plugged in the CCS, it worked just fine. It was the automatic charge, whatever EVgo calls it, what can be called plug-in charge. Didn't have to swipe anything on the app, plugged it in and went, just like we were driving a Tesla. Well, as we left Boerne, my Maps app said I only had like 50 miles. And I know what I did. I misunderstood it. I looked at a better route planner and it said 52, and it was 52 minutes of that's how long we'd have to charge there, not how many miles it was. So it is 67 miles away, and I have 81 miles of predicted range. Now, I've had 81 miles of predicted range for the last 3 miles because we're
going below the speed limit.
We're going below the speed limit because right now there's traffic and we're on country roads, and the only thing there's going to be a little tiny bit of freeway that we're going to be on, but we're also going to have some stop and go traffic and stoplights and things like that. The Bolt has this little efficiency bar right above the range. If you're lit up above it, you're doing better than you were in the last 5 miles, and if you're below it, you're doing worse as far as your efficiency. And it's pegged right now, so on pegged as far as going up. And now it's 66 miles, and I'm still showing 81 miles of range. So the buffer has grown, when I originally saw it, from 11 miles to 15 just in the last 4 miles. I've got range guesstimate on the guessometer that says 96 maximum 90 and 66 minimum. And that's one of the nice things that I like about the Bolt, is it gives you that kind of range. And you can see there that our average efficiency has been 3.8 miles per kilowatt hour, which is pretty good for a road trip. And now we've got 66 miles to go and 66 minimum miles. So the car thinks we can make it, but I have not ever run the car this close to the edge before. So this is going to be interesting. How do you feel about that?
Well, we've never run a car out of charge, which means that it's hard for me to imagine it's actually going to happen to us. But it's certainly not out of the realm of possibility given how close this is. It will be interesting, as you say. But as long as we keep driving below the speed limit, we should be okay. The only issue is if we get in traffic where that would be dangerous to do.
Yeah. So I'm going to give John a call and say, speed limit or under, we're fine. Hey.
Hello.
Now that the traffic has cleared from in front of us, I'm calling to ask you to not exceed the speed limit.
Was I going fast?
No, you're not. That's not the issue. I am going to be running the car closer to 0% than I ever have to get to this charger. All right, we're going through Blanco right now, and we still have 44 miles to go to the charger. We're showing 59 miles of predicted range right in the middle. 48 miles is our minimum. So our buffer is sitting at 15 miles right now, and we're 4 miles above the minimum. So it's getting less stressy. Reasonably sure that we're going to make it with not a problem. about a mile ago, my guessometer did what it did to us outside of Nashville, meaning that we're down to, or I don't know if it was Nashville, it might have been Jackson, somewhere in Tennessee. On the way home, we got the car below 15%, and we're at 15% state of charge on the battery, 38 miles of estimated range, and my guessometer changed from green to orange. So that's kind of the warning that I'm getting low, and we should look into charging. We are 17 miles away from this EV Go, which is going to be the first fast charger that we're going to come to. We've got, our buffer is up to 21 miles, so we should easily make it. I just don't like it when the car changes color like that. It's like, hey, I know. Doing a Tesla, and there's a Mach-E. So many EVs down in this part of the state. We lost count somewhere around 25 Model 3s before we got more than 40 miles outside Austin. And that was just starting in Round Rock from when we charged. And plus there were also about a dozen Mach-Es, about 7 or 8 ID4s, an Ioniq 5, a couple of Rivians. So many EVs down here.
Yep.
And we just saw a Bolt about 20 miles ago.
Yep.
So there we have it. We get our charging stops on camera. Might as well get your charging stops. So what kind of charge speeds does this thing could do?
You know, it can charge pretty fast. You better watch out.
Pretty fast?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure. Okay, cool. We're stopping because the gas gauge might not be accurate, and the seller said the trip was reset when he filled up last. So the fuel gauge says full, but the trip is at 300 miles, so we don't know how much gas this car has, and we needed a quick potty break, and so the Civic needed gas before we did. Just could kind of take a walk around this thing, you know, and for an inexpensive little $3,000 car, it's really nice. We have 29, I gotta show this. We've got 29 miles of predicted range right now. So we are going to plug in to this EV Go. This is Mickey. Hey Mickey, you're so fine. We are plugged in. We'll hit start. And payment has been authorized. That's it. These EV Go's just plug and charge. We're great. Starting the session, make sure that everything goes right. We're very lucky. We're at the Barton Creek something is the name of this mall, and it is a full-on shopping mall. There's Macy's over there. The car just beeped at me. We're at a 10% state of charge right now. We're getting 42 kilowatts. That's probably going to speed up as the charge continues. We're going to try, because it is dinner time right now, we're going to try to find a place to eat. Hopefully there's a food court in here. And send someone in to get food because we have Fiona with us. And try to get some dinner. We'll be here for a bit and maybe get enough power to get from here to home. What do you think?
Yeah, getting enough power from here to get to home would be awesome. We'd love that.
Yeah, we rolled in at 10% state of charge, 29 miles of range, plenty of buffer. So even if this charger had been in use or if somebody had been icing the spot, we'd have been fine to make it the few more miles up the road to the charge points at Austin High School, which is weird. That'll tell you what much EV adoption is happening in Austin, Texas. There are 4 CCS charge points at Austin High School. Now we just got to find John because he took a different turn coming in here with his car. Been charging for a few minutes now. The cooling fans have kicked on because it's in the mid to upper 70s right now with some storms around. So it's actually quite pleasant temperature for Austin, Texas in June. We're going to be here until the car gets to 165 miles of range. We are right now 193 miles away from home. And the only way that we could have this be our last charging stop is if we went ahead and we charged almost to full, to 100%. And with a Bolt, that's just gonna take forever. So we're gonna stay here, eat some food. I sent, Rachel and John went into the mall. There is a place right here, right next to the charger called the California Pizza Kitchen, right there. And we're thinking that there's a food court, and if there is, then we can see what we want food-wise. Otherwise, we're just gonna get a pizza and come out here and eat it. And since we're not gonna try to do this as the last charge, we're gonna charge again at that Road Ranger in Lakeview, which is 115 miles from here. So my basic formula is how many miles plus 50, and that's how much I need to charge. That gives me a buffer that even doing 75 on the freeway, it'll lead into that 50-mile buffer down to maybe 25 miles, 20 miles, but we're okay. The road coming in here had a lot of stoplights for the last 20 miles, and so all that regen when we would get a red light really helped our buffer. And so we started when we left with an 11-mile buffer, and we got here and it was still had 29 miles left of estimated range and 10% of the battery. So no real worries about range anxiety. I was a little worried at the start of the trip when it said we only had a 10-mile buffer. So we just made sure that we didn't drive super fast, and we made it. The Honda that John picked up is right there. Made sure that he wasn't icing it. There's another EVgo pedestal with two J1772s, and this one has a Tesla charger on it and a Chatamo. Yes, it's the only fast charge unit here, so I don't have any choice. I got to plug into it, but nobody was using it, and it works, and it did the plug and charge real fast, and it's turning into an enjoyable trip. So we're a couple miles past our target. Target was 165 miles of range. We're at 167. According to the charger, we're at 63% state of charge, and we've been here for 45 minutes. The problem is the food isn't done yet, and I really need to eat. So we're still waiting on our food. The place, the mall, is actually called Barton Creek Square. That's the name. I feel really, really sheepish because there's a sign right behind me when I said it's Barton something. Barton Creek Square is the name of the mall, and the California Pizza Kitchen is a upscale pizza place. And we're just waiting on our food to come from there. And then I think we're gonna eat a couple of slices before we go, and we're gonna stay plugged in while we do it. Because, I mean, we're here, we're eating anyway. And we're gonna need one more charge stop before we get home. So the more power we get here, the less we'll need at that one, and the less time we'll need to stay. Since, you know, we'd be sitting here anyway, waiting for and then eating the food. It took us about 15 minutes before we decided that that's where we wanted to order, and then it took a while to order, and so anyway, we'll see how we're going, and right now just using up those EVgo credits that General Motors gave us. These EVgo stations time out after an hour, and we just hit an hour, so it shut itself off right then and there. I'm gonna hit OK and come around here and unplug. We got into the 70s, finished eating in the 15 minutes since my last video update. Plug is returned, and we have 200 miles of predicted range, which means we have a 7-mile buffer to be able to make it home. And we're gonna lose probably 20 miles of our buffer. So we're probably gonna need to stop long enough to take a quick potty break at that Road Ranger gas station in Waco again on the way home. And then we'll wrap the trip up. Hey, how's your car?
I like it. It's actually pretty nice. I had some doubts when we first picked it up, but it's really grown on me in just the first 100 miles or so, you know?
Nice.
It's slow as all sin, though. Especially compared to this thing.
Okay, cool. Well, let's get back on the road.
Problem with the car. We're driving along, everything was fine, and then John pulled over suddenly, and Luke pulled over too, and we realized that John had a flat tire. So the guys are out there changing it right now. He does have a spare, so it should be okay, but obviously we're not gonna, I don't know how far he's gonna want to drive on the spare tire. That part isn't great. Fortunately, these guys are good at changing tires. John knows what he's doing. But yeah, so a little adventure.